And Lee Odenryan gets play underway. The Eels running from right to left. Western Suburbs defending the Peter Sterling hill. And a bad mistake straight from the kick-off. Peter Sterling out on the full.
Doesn't get any worse than that, does it? Odenryan just hitting the ball too long. Well, he didn't have to flirt with the sideline. He just went straight down, trying to keep the Magpies on their own line. Sedaris takes the quick tap before Langmack gets involved. 42 out from the Parramatta line.
And that's Langmack's aim, relinquishing the captaincy to get more involved. Now the ball with Glenn Grief, former Parramatta player. Western Suburbs, good field position early on. The ball away to Affleck. Now just 30 metres out from the line. The defence came over the top there from Fernley. They work the right side now through Josh White. Bit of a step straight through the gap and over the 20. He has support in Carney. Western Suburbs get the first try within a minute. Stephen Carney. What a start for the Magpies. 4 points to nil.
You see here the big right foot step. Fernley well and truly beaten. Good support on the outside from Carney. Much more trying to get across as to Blackett in cover. Big Kiwi international. Not too much pace. There was the break. An easy situation of an inside back up against a big forward. And too good on his feet, Josh White for John Fernley. An awful start for the Eels.
Andrew leads from 18 metres out and 15 metres off centre. The Eels shell-shocked. Is to make it 6-0, but away to the side of the post. So somewhat of a let-off for Parramatta. Not such a hard kick for Andrew Leeds, but the score remains Magpies 4, Parramatta 0. He's working for the same corner again this time, though, as you're right, Peter. Takes plenty of care. And the try scorer straight back on the attack, and Stephen Carney tackled 15 metres out from his own line. Parramatta really needing to settle now. And again, it's Langmack. Another hit up. Defence over the top that time came from Paul Dunn. Now working one away off the ruck. Again, it's Affleck. Rounded up. 30 out from his own line. 15 in from touch. Western Suburbs looking sharp right up the centre. Sedaris turning it inside for Leeds. Defence again there, Paul Dunn. Nothing too fancy. Hitting the ball up through Grief. The last tackle. Leeds is in position to kick. They go the right side through White. And the wing Odenryan not dropping back. Marn has the kick covered. And Parramatta at last get their first touch of the ball.
Yeah, Scott Marn was in doubt for this game. He's got a shoulder problem with the AC joint. Well, the pass there to Stu Galbraith, he should have thought that. He took his eye off the ball. Everything going wrong for the Eels at the moment. The pass was down low. Really had every right to catch that one. We see here a wide blindside set by the Magpies with only the winger. You would expect that maybe the lock would get involved here from the scrum base. Spread the Parramatta backs on the far side.
And they go the blind Josh White. He might go all the way himself. The pass over the top may have been forward. Fielded by Paul Smith. He gets the ball down. Nick Lewis is going to award a try. What a start for the Magpies. 8 points to nil.
Well, unbelievable stuff. Again, you go back to the drop ball of Stu Galbraith on the first tackle for Parramatta. And you really got to read this. The scrum had to go that way. With the way that Magpies had set up, they put all their players on the left side, which meant they were coming back to the right. They actually screwed the scrum very well, the Magpies. That put the lock for Parramatta out of play. It allowed Josh White to get on the outside of Galbraith. That forced Odenryan in. And Paul Smith, who can score a try, gets across in the corner.
And now 9 tries for the season for Paul Smith. And Andrew Leeds certainly would not have been expecting 2 kicks in the opening stages of the match. This one, he struck it beautifully. That'll be 10-0. The Magpies in total control. West 10, Parramatta 0.
No matter what.
Kickoff number 3 for Parramatta. What else can go wrong? Leeds fields it from the kickoff, and again it's Steve Carney. We've seen this before. And the Parramatta defence rats him up. 16 out from the line. Sedaris yet to go for a scamper out of dummy half. Damien McGarry, the centre, getting involved. Now Glenn Grief with a hit up. What would Ron Hildis be thinking at this stage?
Well, it's important now for Parramatta just to start again. They can't afford to look at the scoreboard as Affleck again gets involved. 29 out from his own line. That's forward from Sedaris, but a penalty is going to be awarded for Parramatta inside the 10 metres. So even in those situations, the ball bouncing the wrong way, I reckon Suburbs should find touch. You see the pass from Sedaris thrown well before the line. Langmack caught it on the line. The penalty had already been awarded.
So Leeds with a kick for the Western sideline. There is some hope for Parramatta. Western Suburbs is a side that is known for squandering big leads. Last week, a case in point, 32-6, they led Balmain. Now the hit up with Brent Stewart, 25 metres out from the Parramatta line, only on the second tackle, so excellent field position. Josh White works the ball with Sidaris, great ball, finds the support in Georgalis for the corner. Can he go all the way? Inside ball, it'll be play on. Western Suburbs 5 metres out through McGarry. I thought he almost got there himself, Steve Georgalis. They work back, the long ball from White to Langmack, inside to Sidaris, great pass. Sidaris 5 out, intercept by Plowman. Parramatta back with it.
Good ball movement from Western Suburbs. Cut out pass, second man pass on the right hand side of the field. Almost led to Georgalis scoring in the corner. Good cover from Mann. And then the inside pass from the next play to Sidaris again opened the Eels defence up. Fortunately, Plowman well positioned. Clark now takes some yards, followed by Dunn.
They're just finding the gap so easy, this Western Suburbs side, and Parramatta. It's just a game of scrambling right at the moment. As Fernley, they get the penalty inside the 10. He singles out McGarry and Smith there.
That's an important decision for the Eels. They need to string together a couple of sets of 6. They've had very little football. Been brief penalised there, and Oden Ryan will step up. As Pete Blackett gets some treatment in the background. His first game back from injury as well.
So the Eels their best chance to attack, 35 metres out. Clark sets it up midfield. Foul now, decoys running. They find a runner now in Chris King. Strong charge. Equally good defence there front on by Stephen Carney. They work the right side through Galbraith, takes it up to the line. The pass to Plowman, playing in the centres. I think Blackett's calling to come from the field. It's a recurrence of that ankle injury. Now Paul Dunn, inside ball to Galbraith. Galbraith a sloppy pass, now to Speechley just 10 metres out. No support there though for Michael Speechley. They're set on the left-hand side. Galbraith to Dunn. Now Buettner. Intercept for Paul Smith, 15 out. Away to Leeds. A juggling effort from Andrew Leeds. It'll be a knock-on against Western Suburbs. And almost a runaway try for Western Suburbs.
Here's some desperation there from West. Paul Smith getting himself in the Parramatta back line was important. Michael Buettner trying to catch and pass in the one movement. That's dangerous. There you see it there. Really didn't even know what was happening outside. Paul Smith, an experienced winger, knew that he was in trouble overlap-wise. Unfortunately, Andrew Leeds not able to catch the football.
So hobbling Keith Blackett. He can hardly stand up, and they've lost it on the first. Well, the fans are stunned. The mistakes keep coming for Parramatta, and Western Suburbs back with the ball. 35 out from their own line. Andrew Leeds' tackle. And again, it's Brent Stewart hitting the ball up. Plenty of reports and plenty of mail about that Brent Stewart won't be with the Magpies come 1995. Sidaris, good inside ball there to Affleck. Paul Dunn away to it though, right around the ankles. Again, they work the ball centre field. Again, the step 2 from Steve Carney. The West forwards putting something on. Bit of skill as they get to the defensive line. Sidaris steals 5 out of dummy half. And Parramatta back with the ball now through Scott Mann. The big step. And over halfway, only Andrew Leeds to beat. The inside ball, he finds Galbraith, the quickest man in the Parramatta side. Almost a case for a player in the sin bin here. Damien McGarry, either one of the centres, McGarry or McGuinness.
I thought that Scott Mann probably should have tried to take Andrew Leeds on the far side. He did step back to where the cover defence was coming from. Good break here from Scott Mann. I think he had to go the other way, although there was some cover there as well. Galbraith here, enveloped by a couple of Western Suburbs defenders. McGarry was the man penalised as Keith Blackett leaves the field.
So Keith Blackett probably would have been the first choice goal kicker, but with him replaced, Oden Ryan with the attempt, 30-25 out, right in front. Parramatta's first points. Western Suburbs 10, leading the Eels 2. And the first restart for the day for Western Suburbs. It's Andrew Leeds who drives the ball deep. And Chris King with a hit up back over the 20. This Garron Casey, Sterlo, probably not far off a place in the starting lineup at Parramatta now.
He's a good young player, Andrew. Had the opportunity to come on against Manly last start, and he played very well, watching a couple of tries. There's high hopes for him in the club, and it's nice to be able to bring him along a little bit slowly. Although it's unfortunate that he comes into this game through an injury.
Almost back up to halfway. The penalty, lying on the man too long. Against the halfback, Josh White.
Yes, obviously all sides in the modern game try and slow the play the ball down. Just that extra little push there from White was the important one. That earned the penalty.
Well, I guess if the Eels can grab a try here, maybe the start will be all but forgotten for the fans, and hopefully for the players, as Clark is tackled 12 out. McPhail now away to Fernley, charging straight up to the line, gets it to within 5 metres of the Western Suburbs goal line. Numbers left and right. Now Galbraith. Short ball to Dunn. The wrap around with Casey, tackled 5 metres out from the west line. Around the ankles was Georgialis. Again the right side. Plowman goes himself. A hard man to stop. He's 2 metres out from the Maggies line. And again they go the blind side. Dunn. The ball away to King for the corner. The defence is regrouped. Parramatta needing a good pass. It didn't come. The grubber from Galbraith. It'll be 6 to go. It was fumbled by Carney. And what a chance now for Parramatta again. The ball away. Now with Paul Clark. Almost a try just a few metres out from the line. They have to spread the ball left. A knock on from dummy half, I thought, from McPhail. He burrowed for the line. Lewis has a close look at it and held up in goal. We come back to the scrum.
Well, you would think that Parramatta butchered a try there. They had a 4-man overlap to the left. Paul Clark first decided to go through and almost got to the line, then but failed. No, he didn't knock on. He didn't touch the football. He would have been held up there. A good tackle by Glenn Grief coming up with the telling one.
So it's still on for Parramatta. Let's see what they can do around the scrum base. Speechley goes himself. The unload there to Casey. Casey gets the tries. The Eels are on the board with a try. Darren Casey comes into the match. First touch of the ball. And Western Suburbs lead the Eels by 10 points to 6.
Excellent work there from Michael Speechley, taking the ball from the scrum base. Galbraith actually hurt himself in putting through that little kick. He goes across field. He takes Stephen Carney across with him. Paul Langmack a little bit lazy in defence. The number 13 didn't trail. And that was the gap that Casey was able to run into.
Big fight back from the Eels. Odin Ryan 1 from 1. Make that 2 out of 2. And it's a 2-point ball game. West 10, Parramatta 8. The Leeds again will kick for that southeastern corner at Parramatta Stadium. And Odin Ryan, the unload there to King. And wrapped up round the legs. Sedaris was round the ankles. Pretty slow to get to his feet as well. That would be a blow for the Magpies.
A good run there from Darren Casey as Jim Sedaris runs back into the defensive line, holding the head on the far side of the field. That's Mark Horrow in 41 on for Michael Speechley, who's gone to the blood bin.
Galbraith it is who'll play the ball. 35 out from his own line. All of a sudden Parramatta looking a little sharper now. Quite simply they were stunned. They only have themselves to blame though for the start. Out on the full from the kick-off and a drop ball soon after. And now looking a little more convincing as they get up to halfway on the last tackle. The left side, it'll be Casey with a kick. Left footer for touch. It stands on end. The chase through from Odin Ryan. Odin Ryan for the corner. Smith, it came off Smith into touch. This should be a Parramatta scrum feed. Great chase from Lee Odin Ryan.
Yes, that's where the kick should go to Odin Ryan. He's got explosive speed. The ball bounced nicely for him as well. Not so for Paul Smith, who, desperation, bats the ball over the sideline for Parramatta scrum feed.
We'll look for the scrum base play again. The scamper comes from Galbraith, wrapped up by the lock forward Langmack, just 10 out. They're well spread out on the right-hand side. That's the way they go now through Casey to Butner. Inside ball to Munn. Tackle, good one. Front on from Affleck. 11 out from the west line. McPhail away to Horrow. Parramatta certainly putting it up a gear now, the Eels. All of a sudden, a sniff of getting themselves in front. Clark is wrapped up right in front of the sticks. Will continue to go left now through Paul Dunn. The ball to Galbraith. A set move that didn't quite come off the way they wanted.
Yes, Michael Lewis, the referee, has seen a forward pass there. It was a set move that went sadly astray. Almost a shepherd play there with Michael Butner getting involved. Paul Dunn, the ball back inside. The short pass from Galbraith definitely went forward. And Butner into the back of the decoy player.
A big push coming from the Eels, but straight back the way of Western Suburbs. The pass on the outside to Georgialis. Straight away wrapped up by Garen Casey and also Butner there. Out of dummy half goes McGarry. There's a mix-up there in the defence as Butner was trying to get back on side, ran into one of his teammates. If he play the ball there, the dummy half has to go for a run. Josh White, now 15 metres inside his own half. Sedaris. Now again it's Grief who runs the ball up. 10 metres out, or from halfway. He's wrapped up. 3 defenders there. Clark, Dunn, also Butner. And now the knock on from dummy half. So all of a sudden, the pendulum is swinging the way of Parramatta.
There's some mistakes starting to creep into this Magpie performance. Mark of play from Parramatta has been very ordinary. Paul Langmack there at dummy half, just taking his eye off the ball.
Interesting to note here, Plowman close in, and he's the decoy. Away to Scott Mahon. Andrew Leeds wasn't looking forward to tackling Plowman front on that occasion. Plowman in the turn fills in a dummy half. Then Horro's wrapped up, 35 out from the Western Suburbs line. They go the blind side, away through Fernley. There's no support though for Fernley if he could get the arms free that time. Spread out again on the left. Galbraith showing the ball. Inside ball to King, straight up the middle. Unload to Galbraith. Try-saving tackle from Andrew Leeds. It's still on now through Clark. The long ball to Odin Ryan. Only has to juggle it to score. He gets it down. Parramatta is in front. He'll award the try to Lee Odin Ryan.
Oh, it's heart attack stuff. Beautiful pass from Paul Clark to Odin Ryan, who juggled the football before getting the ball down. But a lovely piece of play here from Chris King. A gap there up the middle of the ruck. He burst through the tackle, finds Galbraith. Now that was a good tackle from Andrew Leeds, except he couldn't stop Galbraith from getting the ball away. And the selective pass to Odin Ryan out in front and puts the ball down.
So a heart-stopping moment for the Eels as Odin Ryan juggled that ball. It's his hardest kick of the day. Swinging back around Lee Odin Ryan. He can do no wrong, Lee Odin Ryan. Parramatta back in front, 14 points to 10. And it's the Western Suburbs supporters who have gone silent, with Parramatta now in front by 4 after being behind by 10. And Chris King again with a job of hitting the ball up back from the kickoff. He managed to get over that 20 each and every time. Horro caught in possession this time, 30 out from his own line.
Again, Andrew, it just shows that in the Winfield Cup competition, you're going to be made to pay for your mistakes.
Comes for Horro, not hitting the line at top pace, rounded up there by Glenn Dreef. Fail, this is the first man, finds the runner in Fernley. Set up to the halfway, right on the kick-off mound. This time it's Paul Clark taking on the defence. Great ball to Butner. Paul Clark not noted for the offload, but great pass that time. Now the kick comes from Casey again for Odin Ryan's wing. Just a little too deep. And Leeds was certainly well positioned. So too the winger Paul Smith. And it's Smith with a hit up.
A very checkered career, hasn't he, Paul Smith? Not wanted by a couple of clubs, but wherever he's got a game, he's always been up on the try-scoring lists. He's done a good job for Western Suburbs this year. He's been probably the most dangerous player out there at the moment. McGarry takes 5-6 metres from dummy half.
Sedaris again. Hasn't been able to find too much space today, Sedaris. Parramatta doing a good job in defence on Jim Sedaris. Last tackle again, Josh White with a kick. He finds some space between Mahon and Plowman. Mahon said yours, Plowman said yours. Eventually Plowman has the pick-up. And Mahon back to Plowman. Well, Parramatta playing with confidence. And in turn back to Mahon. It's a two-man team. And Mahon wrapped up 30 metres out from his own line. Now the pass away to Butner. Good left foot step. Straight through the defensive line. Again, it's Galbraith in support. The cover comes from Georgialis. Wrapped up 35 out from the west line. They need a quick play the ball. They go right side again through McPhail. He has no one to pass it to. They have to come back left side. Paul Clark now dashes through the gap. The pass away to much more over the 20, and wrapped up just 10 metres out from the line. Well, Parramatta with a chance to kick right away now.
And 6 again, signalled.
Galbraith goes for the line himself. That's the settler for the first. McPhail in a dummy half. Paul Dunn will take it up the defensive line. Short ball to Casey. Broke away from one. A poor attempt to tackle there from Affleck. They've got numbers here on the right. Inside ball to King, another Parramatta try. Can you believe this comeback? A try to Chris King, and Parramatta 18 lead the Magpies 10.
And playing with a lot of confidence now. You saw that with the kick returns coming back from the Eels. They're prepared to throw the football around. And again, Paul Dunn involved. Very dangerous down this area of the field, and Chris King took advantage of some ordinary defence coming across in cover. Really, they'd scrambled a lot, the Magpie defensive lineup, and couldn't come up with the tackle there. Chris King gets across for his first try of the season. He's been Parramatta's best player throughout the first 13 rounds of this competition.
And Odin Ryan again from 11 metres in from touch. This one more of a stab at the posts and to the side. But that is half-time. Parramatta has fought back, and they lead at the break by 18 points to 10. First half, impossible to predict what could take place in the second half. And Parramatta with first use of the ball. Again, it's Chris King back over the 20. And what sort of rev up would Warren Ryan give his players at half-time?
Well, I would imagine that Warren Ryan would really want his team just to stiffen their defence up. We mentioned earlier in the telecast that was their big problem throughout 1994, the inability to stop points. They showed in the first 10 minutes here they can score them. Parramatta came back and have scored the last 18. If West are to go on and win this game, they must be the next point scorers.
Mark Horrow remains on the field for the second half, and Michael Speechley back. Don Fernley, the player, off as Western Suburbs now through Andrew Leeds after that kick from Speechley. 30 metres out from his own line. Ball spread across now to Paul Smith. He comes back in field, but the defence is there in numbers. Peter McPhail around the ankles. Now Affleck again. Western Suburbs hoping that they can open this second half. Well, there's a drop ball from Affleck. Referee Lewis asking him to play the ball. Sedaris, inside ball to no one. Georgalis has to pick it up. 6 to go, I think, was ruled there by Lewis. The pass on the outside to McGarry.
Well, it looks like we've got a blood bin here again. One of the Western Suburbs players.
Mark Affleck it is, going to the blood bin. So can they pick it up now? The ball away to that player, Doherty, straight away involved in the action. Again, very flat pass, that time to Glenn Grief from Sedaris, allowing Western Suburbs to get right over the advantage line. Lang Mack, the run around with Sedaris. Josh White able to beat one, that was Casey. Come up with a few misses. Sedaris out of dummy half, he'll steal another 10 metres. Inside ball found McGuinness, over the top, Brett Plowman. A heavy tackle, and Plowman's going to be penalised there.
Silly stuff there from Plowman, late in the tackle count. The defence had been quite good. You see McGuinness getting out of dummy half, Plowman, big swinging arm. There it is there. The referee in good position to see that one.
Sedaris the tap across to White. Hardy it is. He needs to stand a little deeper when he charges onto the ball. Just 15 metres out and 5 tackles to use the ball. Sedaris now to Carney. The tackle over the top came from Paul Clark, and Paul Clark will be called out. Certainly wasn't going to harm Carney, but all the same calls for a penalty.
Yes, fairly innocuous tackle there from Paul Clark. No damage done, but it was high, it was careless. And it will be an easy conversion attempt here for Andrew Leeds.
So from close range, Andrew Leeds. No trouble at all. So now just 6 points the difference. Parramatta 18, the Magpies 12. Darren Casey with a restart. Western Suburbs hoping that'll spur them on to better things as Hardy charging the ball back up. Can't get it back to the 20 though. Michael Speechley, the first man there. Fail, and also King. Now the ball with Georgalis. A determined run from the 5'8". Out of dummy half goes McGarry. Steals another 7 metres.
Good work here from the inside backs.
Now spread out on the right. Bit of a jink from Josh White. Back over halfway. Back straight into the forwards. Paul Clark affects the tackle. Sedaris out of dummy half. No second marker. Good pass to Hardy. He in turn offloads to Carney. And Carney still away to Muchmore. And the call came to offload. And Robert Muchmore it is who comes up with the ball for Parramatta. Possibly somewhat of a minor turning point, if there could be one. West conceding possession there in good field position and gives Parramatta the chance to go on the attack. Chris King has rounded up 45 out from the west line.
Very enthusiastic Darren Doherty in 40 for Western Suburbs since coming on as an interchange player. There you see him coming over the top. Some very good charges. Defence has been strong. A couple of tackles left for Parramatta. The dummy from Speechley ducks into the tackle of Sedaris and Hardy. Field goal would be a good option. Probably a little bit too far out at the moment.
Buettner takes on the line. Great inside ball to Mann over the 20. He chips over the head of Leeds. McGuinness has it covered. Comes up with a ball. Well, a blink of an eye and Scott Mann was away. Tidied up by the centre, Ken McGuinness.
I still don't know about the little kicks over the top. They're genius if they come off. But there was still a tackle to go. Parramatta well and truly on the attack. As I say, the field goal at the end of that sixth would have been a good play if they hadn't scored. Big hit there on McGarry from Robert Muchmore.
That's what needed now, some effective defence from Parramatta. And to this point, that's what they've done. And it is the last tackle, and they've trapped them inside the 20. Western Suburbs with no option but to kick. And White trying to kick wide of Mann. It's straight down the throat. And Mann straight back at top pace beats the man Josh White and almost away from another. Stephen Carney wraps him up.
The kick came off the side of the boot, but it was good pressure from Darren Casey going through on White. It's Horro's second tackle, and he gets through. Another good opportunity here for the Eels. Good run from McPhail out of dummy half. Cleaned up by Carney high.
Well, this is the go now for Parramatta. They can sense they can deliver the knockout punch if they can score. Done with the ball to Galbraith. Now away to Buettner through the gap. One more pass to Casey. He loves scoring tries. He's got another. Garrett Casey, and Parramatta kicks clear by 10 points. 2 tries to Garrett Casey. Parramatta 22, West 12.
And isn't it nice when a plan comes off? Again, a set move. The ball back inside from Paul Dunn. The short ball, second man to from Galbraith. They set the decoy through, and Chris King picked up Buettner. And then Darren Casey, who's making a little bit of a habit of scoring tries off the interchange bench, gets across the line. Hardy missed the tackle, so did Grieve. Casey, little to do but to catch and put the ball down, but he had to do a job to be there in support.
Fairly easy kick for Lee Odenrine. No trouble at all. It's now 12 points clear. The Eels 24, the Magpies 12. Andrew leads with a restart. Troubles for Western Suburbs, down by 12. Speechley fielding it from the kickoff. And that try coming when Parramatta certainly started the second half looking not like the side that went into the dressing rooms at half-time. And a few words from Paul Dunn. And Parramatta now ahead by 12 as getting out of dummy half is Odenrine.
I have to say, Andrew, from years of experience playing with Parramatta, there's one problem we've always had. The half-time break really disrupted at times the flow of our play. Never been a good side coming back out, starting a second half, and Western Suburbs did have the ascendancy early on with that try. Things have turned around. Fifth tackle now. McPhail looking for his kicker in Speechley.
Kick will come from Speechley. Willis not back. Leeds has it covered. And there's a good chase from Parramatta. Buettner wraps him up 10 out from the west line. Willis this time electing to pass. His wing teammate, that's Paul Smith. Beats 2 tackles, Smith over the 20. And gets the pass away, Sedaris. Away from 1, now over the 30. Western Suburbs on the charge. Jin Sedaris, the ball inside to McGuinness. He's away from Galbraith. The cover coming from Odenrine. McGuinness gets there. No, he's over the corner post. It'll be no try. Lewis consulting the in-goal judge. It will be a try. Mick Lewis now checking with his touch judge, who says the corner post was taken. No try.
Well, McGuinness looked odds on to score, but Odenrine has come from the clouds, and he had plenty to do. Brent High showed a good show of strength here, turning McGuinness around. Oh, gee, I thought the ball was almost placed there, almost through accident. McGuinness claims the try. The rule let off there. Parramatta ball from the restart.
The touch judge stayed in the field of play. He was the man who ruled no tries, saying that the corner post was taken.
Let's just have a look at this again, where the legs are. I think it's a try myself. I think the ball touches the ground.
It's a try. There was no hope of the in-goal judge seeing that, though, and well, the touch judge, I guess, he's blundered. Buettner now the inside ball to Casey, looking for try number 3. Heavy defence over the top from Stephen Carney. It's the last tackle. Buettner getting in position on the left. A slow play the ball, though. Buettner with not much time to get the kick away. Now the kick for the corner. Smith will have it covered. The chase comes from Odenrine. Can they keep him in goal? In fact, they'll drive him over the sideline in goal, and we're back to the post for a line dropout.
Smart play from Michael Buettner. He was setting up for the field goal, but the pressure came through. Knew that it was the last. Had to get the kick in. The chase from Odenrine again was very, very good. Been a good battle between these two quick wingers. Odenrine with some help. John Fernley takes the ball, takes the man over the sideline.
Well, by getting carried away, or is this Lee Odenrine just about his best game for the club?
I don't think you're getting carried away. He's had a super game out there. He's had some very important things. Now another set of important tackles here for Western Suburbs. Really must hold out, must muscle up in defence.
Bale lost the footing as he passed the ball. But the Eels 19 metres out. I'm sure field goal is in their minds this time. Maybe earlier on the count. Well, they won't get a chance to drop ball. And Western Suburbs back with it. Burnley back on the field came up with a drop ball, and they've compounded that mistake. The penalty in the quick tap. West now with the urgency. Sedaris, the dummy, got away from Buettner. Buettner tries again, comes across field. Keeping it alive. Now McGarry. Well, putting Paul Dunn. And Dunn, to his credit, manages to get him by the jersey. Now the fancy footwork comes from Josh White. But they must score, and they must score soon, Western Suburbs now. The loose pass on the outside came from Georgialis, fielded by Paul Smith, but he had to go back for it. Maybe West need reminding. Their opponents last week scored 20 points in 11 minutes.
Sedaris and Josh White are still the key. White looks very dangerous every time he runs the football. One thing Western Suburbs are capable of doing is keeping the ball alive. That's what they're doing now. McGuinness trying to get outside Buettner, almost does so. Good ball inside.
Willis gets it up to the 40-metre mark. The tackle there. Manages to offload. McGuinness again with the ball. He's looking to find a runner. Can't find one. King comes up with a tackle. It is the last. Porro in back play. Slow getting back on side. The short grubber kick from Sedaris. He gets past Marn. 5 metres out. Over the top to Georgialis. The pass was forward in any case. And it's back to the 20-metre mark.
Oh, here's a danger, Jim Sedaris. Beautiful little piece of play here. Saw the marker defence was ordinary again. It is the last. A little kick through. He regathers. Beats Marn's tackle. Looked like he was going to score. Buettner comes up with the tackle and the pass back inside over Georgialis' head. Ruled forward. Restart for Parramatta. Another let-off.
So things not going quite according to plan for Jim Sedaris. First day as captain. Good run this time from Fernley. Tackled 10 metres inside his own half. And again they're working the ball upfield, this time through Horro. Hardy with a tackle over the top, also there Carney. Left side worked again, Dunn. Very effective in the first half with a short pass, either inside or close to his outside. And kicking through Casey early in the count. Interesting decision. Odenrine has the chase on Leeds. Leeds looking for open space. He's managed to outsprint two, then throws a line ball to Willis. Willis is up over the 30, brings it back infield. Wasn't prepared to tempt the sideline there.
A perfect example of a poor chase from Parramatta. Not going up on both sides of the ruck. Andrew Leach linking with his winger. They've got numbers on the left right-hand side. Good pass, Georgialis finds McGarry.
Great ball to McGarry now. Up over the 40, around the outside of Buettner. Buettner just able to knock him off his feet. And McGarry very close to the sideline. Parramatta have managed to get back inside. Western Suburbs standing deep. Josh White from 20 out to Doherty, straight through the gap. That's a try. No, great tackle from Scott Marn, just metres out from the line. A try saver on Doherty.
Well, he may well get 10 minutes here, Scott Marn. No, in fact, it's going to be, yes, it is, Scott Marn. Resting decision now for Western Suburbs. The quick tap from Sedaris. He goes over, held up. Will be a scrum, but no, it's a penalty. Again, we'll see the quick tap. They need to move the ball wide.
If he's going to award the penalty, should have sin-binned another now as Hardy takes it to within 1 metre of the line. Thought about crawling over. He can't get to his feet. Well, there again, he could have penalised Paul Clark. Sedaris out of dummy half, a soft try. He gets it down, try. Western Suburbs back in it. Jim Sedaris, the captain, comes up with a try.
You called it. It was soft, all right. They'd scrambled Parramatta. They'd done a good job in holding out to land. Scott Marr coming up with a try-saving tackle, but on the blind side of the ruck, Jim Sedaris too strong for Peter McPhail. Goes through Paul Clark.
So this kick to get Western Suburbs right back in it. Make it a 6-point ball game. 2 from 3 for Andrew Leeds. The kick from Leeds, he loves it. And it is a 6-point ball game. Parramatta 24, Wests 18.
The shrink with the big country practice.
I said I was a qualified psychologist.
So you lied.
That's right.
I said at half-time, impossible to predict what could happen in the second half. And are we going to see the grandstand finish from Western Suburbs?
I do think that's exactly what we'll see. Western Suburbs have shown in the last 10 or 15 minutes they're prepared to throw the football at all costs.
Sedaris has been the player to get them alive. Also, Josh White, big tackle came from Muchmore. And that is just good pressure. Muchmore has forced the error from Western Suburbs.
He's a great defender of it, Muchmore.
Burlow, the field goal early on the count.
Well, I think that's the play. It's David Woods in 55 on for Parramatta now. Exciting youngster, plagued by injuries.
Took the quick tap, straight through the middle. David Woods has turned game breaker and match winner. They're playing the ball forward. David Woods comes up with a try on for Brett Plowman. Well, Parramatta 28, Wests 18.
Master stroke from Ron Hill. He's putting on David Woods. I do have a doubt over the try, I must admit. I don't think he released the football. Woods puts the ball down. Well, maybe he did release it and he did get a touch, so take that back. David Woods threw the tackle there. Puts the ball down. That should just about wrap things up.
Odin Ryan from 16 out. This time he adds for 2 points. It's back to a 12-point advantage. Parramatta 30, Wests 18.
This must be a short kick-off. They need possession, Western Suburbs.
Big chase coming from Carney, Paul Clark. Showing he's good under pressure. We know urgency with the play the balls now from the Eels. Pass away to Horro. He's played his part in the win for Parramatta.
I thought he's been great. Both Mark Horro and Garen Casey coming off the bench have really made a difference to the Parramatta side with their performances. Chris King has done some good work on the fringe of the ruck. But now no mistakes from the Eels. Just look to eat up as many yards as they can in the first 5 tackles. And then either Casey or Speecey to kick the ball down. In fact, it will be Casey. Ball lost backwards. McPhail cleans up. That's even better.
Paul Clark's had some successes with the passes. Won't say that was a great one, though. Galbraith with a kick on the last, trying to find touch on this Western sideline. He does it. That's all they need at this stage, Parramatta.
Well, that's the play when you're in front on the scoreboard with time running out.
Not too many of the Eels supporters have gone home. They've only had reason to celebrate 2 Winfield Cup victories this season. And I want to savour this one. As Western Suburbs now through Damien McGarry, 30, well, almost up to the 30-metre mark. The ball comes loose. Lewis says play on. The point about the try, they scored it with 12 men. Scott Marr in the bin. Sedaris out of dummy half. Away to Hardy standing in the centres. Back to Sedaris. Good handling. They have numbers now on the left side. McGuinness charges through the gap. The game is still on. McGuinness away to Grief. Now the pass inside. Found Willis. Back to Georgalis. Keeping the ball alive to McGarry. He juggled it. Muchmore almost missed the tackle there. This is catch-up football. White with a long ball to Langmack. Now trying to stretch it all the way to the right corner. Forward ball came from Carney to Hardy. Hardy has numbers on the outside. Again the ball has come forward. And Parramatta back with the ball. Nick Lewis getting no help through the linesman's flag. If the pass was forward.
Western Suburbs keen to keep the ball alive, but it will be to no avail. A penalty there for play the ball infringement. Aidan Ryan looking to get the quick play the ball going. Wasn't allowed to do so. And he'll find touch 32 metres out from his own line. Time just about up.
Clark with a hit up. Just after half-time, the Parramatta forwards weren't going that quick. They certainly weren't getting around the field all that well, but They were able to take it up a gear. They've kept their noses in front all the way through. Bale at dummy half. He's got numbers, men left and right. Buechner up the centre. Again, it was the pass, the short pass from Paul Dunn. Good tackle from Sedaris. So maybe they haven't finished the scoring just yet. This is Horro. They go the left side through McPhail. Dunn again, the short ball inside to King. Up to the 25-metre line. Not that there's one there. And Parramatta now, they go the blind side. This is Clark. The overhead ball to Odenrine. He sends the ball back centre field. The chase is coming. Leeds took it right on the goal line. They have to bring it back into the field of play. And Western Suburbs, you just do anything now. Georgialis wrapped up again. The tackle was Muchmore. Too many have got away from Robert Muchmore today. Time the tackle came from King on Willis. Sedaris on the outside to Langmack. Trying to take him high there was Casey. But he had three teammates to help him. Now the ball's just come loose. Well, I reckon it just came loose, but Lewis is ruling that they didn't get off the man. Let's stick with the action as Sedaris runs it. He throws the short ball almost to Shepherd from Western Suburbs. Georgialis trying to get through the gap. They send the ball centre field through Josh White, straightening up the point of attack. He's tackled on halfway. But after leading 10-0 early, the game really got away from Western Suburbs. 6 to go. The pass now to Carney. Inside ball. Found McGarry. Now with Leeds striding up the middle. Some desperation defence needed. Leeds throws the inside ball. It won't matter a great deal, but Western Suburbs get the consolation try through Paul Smith.
Well, to the death, the Magpies kept coming, and Andrew Leeds sets up the last try, finding some open spaces. Paul Smith backing up on the inside. He's had a good game, Smith. Been a good wing battle. Finishes with a flourish to score under the post. An easy conversion attempt. There's the successful conversion attempt. Plenty of points scored here, but it's Parramatta will finish on the right side of the ledger.
30 points to 24, so the Eels have silenced the critics. And our man of the match is the Parramatta winger Lee Odenrine. We said his best game for the club. He picks up the $1,000 from MMI.